Hello everyone, welcome to another Naraka Bladepoint video. This is OSK, and today we're going to be going over the Naraka Bladepoint World Championships, the J Cup Day 2 Trios. And with me I have my foremost expert, DavOnEdge. Say hi to everyone, Dav.
Hey there everybody, and welcome to the video. Today we're looking to show you some exciting Naraka Bladepoint gameplay and breakdowns.
Awesome. So what we're going to be doing today is going through some clips of some of the best plays that we could find out of Day 2 Trios. We're going to be kind of breaking down the analytics, making you aware of the thought process that these teams are going through, the advantages that we can get in trios, and all the different strategies between ultimates, positioning, and dealing with that final circle in the final moments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out Dav. I'll have his stuff down in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video if you'd like to see more. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in the Naraka Bladepoint World Championships Day 2 Trios of the J Cup.
The first highlight we'll cover is the endgame of Game 1, where 17JL maneuvered their way perfectly into a flawless win. Take note of their positioning and their superior team coordination.
So the first thing I notice here is that this circle here has two heightened regions. It's got two mountains on each side. Obviously, if you're one of these teams, you're going to want to take advantage of that fact and want to take control over one of these sort of mountainous regions. That's the first thing I think about when I see this map. What about you, Dav?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, immediately the down low area, the valley, is not a place that you want to end up. In trios, cannon is a prominent weapon, and that could be an issue, as well as these ultimates do so well at high ground.
Absolutely. You can see that there's one team over there across the way. That's actually 17JL. They do a fantastic job here in this first game. They do a fantastic job of controlling that entire area. I think they're the only team that's actually in that other sort of heightened area. So they don't really have a whole lot of competition. And that is such a smart strategy, because not only are you minimizing risk to yourself, but because you're playing a comp like Transformers that allows that sort of long range, high damage play, you're able to pick up so many free kills that it's absolutely insane. You stay away from the Death Valley, as I'll call it, and it's just such a great position overall. You can see them kind of switch off towards the Yuashan there. I feel like a lot of these teams do a really good job of kind of alternating the Transformers there. That way, if one's down, you always have that threat of getting the big damage off. Not as big as Monk, obviously. The double slam is an absolute threat, but enough to kind of make you double check. And you can see 17JL, even though that their area has closed off, they've done a fantastic job of rotating up, and they just follow this all the way through. Now there's barely any room in the ravine, and they can just camp there, be a little death trap for anyone who falls down there, and it's just such a great way to victory for them.
The Flamebringer, amazing damage right there. Such a crazy final circle with this terrain here.
Absolutely. The one place I don't want to be is in that middle ridge, because you got the threat from two sides here. I feel like 17 and XCG do a really good job of just kind of taking control and picking their side. They don't really want to encroach on anybody. They want to play to their strength here. Absolutely great.
Ults being alternated flawlessly here. Players continuing to just stay mobile and move around, not get caught out.
Now you can see, look at that rotation. They rotate all the way up to that top side, and there's no one that can contest them at this point. They've stayed together. That's one thing that they've done a really good job of. Whenever one of their teammates are in trouble in a place where they can't really follow up, they've done a really good job of having that one teammate escape and not collapsing their position. They've done that so well this entire final circle, and you can see the results of that. All three of their players are completely alive. There's no threat from any other teams because they haven't had to sacrifice anybody, and they just ride it out to the win here.
Yeah, absolutely. Team play is crucial in trios, and it was demonstrated beautifully here by this team.
Next, we have a heads-up play from EWG, trapping wolves in between a Bane Breath and a hard place.
Panning over to this situation, EWG places a Moonbane on the left as they walk over a Ballista, so their number one goal here is to pull the team into all this damage and secure these eliminations. Amazing play happening from EWG here.
Really showcasing a bunch of situational awareness as well to place the Moonbane preemptively and entrap them in between that and the Ballista. There's nowhere for wolves to go, and they're definitely not getting away scot-free. That's two members down, and what they can do with all that gold they just picked up, there is actually a chest over here right where Zhao is hiding, and they can just snowball this entire engagement into such a wonderful advantage. You take a look at the Soul Jades that they're able to accumulate. That is just so beautiful to see. Great payoff.
Next, we have EWG versus TM, where EWG showcases their superior team coordination and team composition.
As we can see, EWG is going to be running into TM here, probably one of the more premier teams to be going up against. They're going to start it off with a quick monk transformation, and that is going to lead to a lot of synergy in between them and their team comp.
Yeah, in this situation, and if you notice, the team play right here is amazing. The Valda happened to put a bubble at the base of that monk, so in case the grab failed, that player would drop into the bubble, and it comes in handy.
Whether it's inadvertent or it was on purpose, I'm not really sure, but it does end up paying off quite well. As you can see, they wipe up TM. Unfortunately, though, the Realm of Yang debuff that they have, it is running out, but it's one of the only teams with Vermilion Bird's Might. So it's going to be a very unfortunate situation for them, but a great fight nonetheless.
For our penultimate highlight, we have Game 3, where GG play their positioning perfectly along with their team composition to carry themselves to another back-to-back victory.
Taking a look here towards this final circle coming in, we have more team popping the monk ult on this high position in a relatively flat location. But GG team is going to end up in an awesome position, just able to keep their eye on this fight and everything that's going on.
Yep, absolutely. I think one of the things that kind of distracts players, or detracts them rather, from this position is just how flat and open it is at first. There is this little obstacle here right in the middle that is, you wouldn't think about it right away, but the circle is going to condense on that later on. So it's a great way to break line of sight if there's another monk coming on you. I really do like the way that Moore is positioned here, but as you'll see through this clip, GG just do such a great job of recognizing that nobody's going to want to be out in the open. So in a way, there's a bit of a layer of protection around them in that no other players are going to be so focused on getting into the position that they are. It allows them to stay together as a team and not really risk getting picked off one by one.
Correct. Yeah, this positioning kind of keeps them out of the action, and they do a great job of using the terrain all around them, including the tree, which might not block a lot of damage, but the view and keeping them stealthed during this confrontation coming forward is going to be super important. We talked a lot about their positioning, but Team GG has an amazing team composition as well. Having the Kurumi on your side to apply the heals and keep your team alive when needed, as well as the Transformers to kind of stagger those transformations and keep the team alive and keep the enemies at bay is great. We saw in the clip before just that Kurumi was able to deny being grabbed by a monk using her umbrella as shelter. So Kurumi fitting great in this meta right now, especially in these high competition lobbies.
Absolutely. And one thing to note as well, that Kurumi's healing circle will also affect the transformations themselves, as she does heal health. And that does come into effect a little bit later in this clip, as we'll see. But I think it just serves as a great lifeline, because as soon as these transformers get low, they're going to be transforming out. They don't really want to, die or do anything like that. So as soon as they're low, they can pop out of the transformation, get all their health back from a Kurumi ult, and just do a really good job of just staying ever present, especially in a chaotic lobby such as this one. It is such a blessing to have that sort of safety net on your team. And we also see later that Kurumi, even though one of her teammates gets down, I believe 330 does, she is able to tether to him and actually pick him straight back up, which is a fantastic ability to have in this sort of environment. And so putting that strategy all together between their superior positioning and their superior team comp, the safer route to pick, so to speak, Team GG actually ends up having all three of their members up, which is a fantastic advantage for this late game circle as the numbers dwindle down and teams begin to whittle away at each of their members. You can see that the team that's able to keep all three obviously is going to have a huge advantage over the others, and that just carries GG all the way to victory. So it turns out that the traditional Transformers with Kurumi, such a great pick in this Morris Isle in this final circle.
Correct. From that position, carrying them into the small circle, that sustainability shows from this team composition. Great team play here from GG. The Transformers able to control the area, as well as maintain full health bar alongside that Karumi.
And finally, the last highlight we have is the entirety of Game 4, where TM showcase their superior team strategy, where they pick off players on the edge of the zone, focus down in 3v1 situations, and zone control to carry themselves to a 20-kill victory.
So one thing about TM's team comp and strategy that I really love here is the comp they're running right now is a Yodohime, a Viper, and a Wu-Chin. You can absolutely just dive on unsuspecting players. And if things get a little bit too hairy, you can hop right back out with that Wu-Chin, provided it's in a safe area. Now, one thing that they do throughout this entire match that I love is they play the outside and they're just looking for stragglers. They don't want to get into any engagement that they do not see them as coming out ahead 100% of the time.
Yeah, they're acting as a single unit. You know, they're moving in tandem. If they see a player, they call it out, and they all three are on the player in order to apply the damage that's needed to pick up the elimination. And that hurts a team. Losing a player is definitely hard to come back from. The comms are so important in that sense too. Seeing someone low on the outskirts, out of position, and having your team able to come up and apply the damage with you.
Absolutely. I think throughout this entire match, we see that TM actually provides a lot of unified movement that's so difficult to pull off unless you've either played a whole lot or you have just excellent comms going on. So great point that you bring up there as well.
Team TM's position here in the bottom left, they've had this position for a moment. It seems it was premeditated. They picked it before the circle closed in, and they've done a good job of holding it down. They're gaining a lot of stuff from this position as well. Being such a hidden area on the low ground, players who end up out in the open are going to be looking for a place to reset and might hop into a bee's nest down there, as you would say, in Team TM's home.
Exactly. And as one thing that you mentioned there, the premeditation, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll set a Wu-Chin orb down by the side so that if they do get in a hairy scenario, they can go ahead and Wu-Chin ult out of the way so that they can get a clean little reset off. Another thing I want to mention is that this spot right here, the positioning, so perfect, because going in and going out, there's a lot of doorways. There's a lot of different windows as well. That's an obstacle in and of itself. It's a tough spot to get into whenever you're being pressured by so many different ultimates, so many different characters. And so TM having the wherewithal to defend all of that and pick such a defensible position, excellent choice whenever you're thinking about this final circle.
Absolutely. Visibility is key, and having those windows and doorways still allows them to keep track of what's happening on the outside. Seeing and hearing all these ultimates from these players coming out and letting this damage pass them by safe and secure, making sure that their end having that Yodo on their team to pick up some extra kills and possibly secure a victory.
And as you see, that strategy does pay off. They end up with 20 kills. Don't come out in first place there on the finish, but enough points to take the whole round there. And that's going to do it for the breakdowns today of the Naraka Bladepoint World Championship Day 2 of Trios. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And a big special thanks to Dav, who was with us today. Dav, where can they find you? Where are your socials, buddy?
Oh, we're over on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and wherever else you are.
Thank you very much, Dav. Guys, make sure to go show him some love. Follow his socials down in the description, and make sure you follow me as well down there. Make sure you like and subscribe the video, comment, and share this with your friends. I've been OSK.
I've been DavOnEdge.
And thank you guys for joining us. See you in the next one.
I know life is getting harder, not like I would choose another. My tears and healing powers, just one drop to recover. Can't stop me 'cause I'm